I'm your moderator, and my name is Mrs. Onisha Patterson. I welcome you all to this, our second match. I'd like to say thanks to our sponsors one more time. They are Jamaica National, Top O Top, 1 Yard, Wholesome, Grace Kennedy, Mr. Delroy Slowley, True Bargain Hardware, and the Jamaica Zoo. We really appreciate the fact that you saw the vision and decided to share in it. This morning's match will feature Glen Stuart Primary and Balaclava Primary, with Glen Stuart Primary being government. They will be debating the moot, be it resolved the ban on plastic bags is unnecessary.
Good morning to the judges, the audience, my fellow opponents, and last but not least, to my esteemed teammates. As the government of this debate, we stand in support of this moot. Be it resolved that the ban placed on plastic bags is unnecessary. The key terms in this moot are ban. According to Halter Mifflin Student Dictionary published in 1989, and I quote, to prohibit by law, decree, etc. forbid, end of quote. Unnecessary, also taken from the Halter Mifflin Student Dictionary published in 1989, and I quote, not necessary or needless, end of quote. My opponents, you like many people believe that paper bags are more environmentally friendly than plastic bags because they are made from a renewable resource, can biodegrade, and are recyclable. However, ladies and gentlemen, the fact is shopping bags outperform paper bags environmentally, on manufacturing, on reuse, and on solid waste volume and generation. This belief that paper is better than plastic is not based on science or fact. It is based on misconceptions about how plastic bags are made, how landfills work, the incidence of plastic litter, and that non-biodegrading production are bad for this planet. So let's clear up these misconceptions for you. These facts are based life cycle assessments, studies done in Europe and North America. 1. On the matter of resources used, paper bags have much more global warming potential. Simply put, the manufacturing of paper bags requires much more resources. It consumes larger amounts of energy and water. Plastic bags were invented as an alternative to paper grocery bags in the late 1970s to protect trees and to prevent clear cutting of our forests. Yet still you want to go back to deforestation? Plastic bags are a byproduct of a natural gas, ethane, but this gas is burnt off in the refining process. My opponents, plastic is better for the environment and resources. This ban is absolutely pointless. 2. On the matter of manufacturing, my opponents, plastic bag is more environmentally friendly. According to the Scottish Government's 2005 reports on plastic shopping bags, the manufacture of paper bags consumes 4 times more water than the manufacture of plastic bags, and paper generates 3 times more greenhouse gases. The Ecobilan Carrier for Life Cycle Assessment shows that their manufactured paper bags consumes 2.2 times more non-reusable energy. The manufacturer consumes 4.7 times more water. Soon, there will be no water inside for us. Emits 3.1 more greenhouse gases and 2.7 times more acid gases than the manufacturing of plastic bags. My opponents, all studies agree that paper bags carry a substantial environmental impact in their manufacturing. Can you substantiate your stance that this fact, Can you substantiate your stance with facts that a ban on plastic bag is sensible? No, you can't. As I have said before, this ban is ridiculous. 3. On the matter of reusing, paper bags tend to fail on reuse because they tear easily and they are not waterproof. Conventional plastic bags are highly reusable and outperform paper. They are reused as carrier bags and as kitchen catchers for garbage and organic among their many uses. The 2011 life cycle assessments done by the UK Environment Agency identified a reuse rate for plastic bags of 40.3%. This same study also revealed that paper bags contribute 3 times more to global warming than conventional plastic shopping bags. 4. On the matter of solid waste, the most significant and immediate impact of a switch from plastic shopping to paper grocery bags is additional volume and tonnage that paper adds to the waste stream. The typical plastic shopping bag weighs 6 to 8 grams. A standard craft paper bag weighs 55 grams. This leads to additional waste management, and recycling costs. The differences between paper and plastic strongly supports why bans don't work. In 2006, China rescinded a ban on plastic in their fast food sector, simply because the ban led to an increase in the use of paper bags with a resulting massive increase in tonnage, waste management costs, and greenhouse gas. Ladies and gentlemen, please take a look to my left and kindly ask my opponents that after all the evidence presented thus far, if they still believe that a ban on plastic bag is unnecessary. Members of my precocious audience, I know that you agree with me. The Ontario Ministry of the Environment 2010 reports on the 50% plastic bag reduction program determined a 36% recycling rate. In British Columbia and Alberta, over 30% of the bags are recycled. In Quebec, 33% of all plastic shopping bags are recycled, and in Atlantic Canada, which pioneered back-to-bag recycling systems, working with large grocery retailers, rates are higher 50% in Nova Scotia and 57% in PEL. More than 60% of garbage that ends up in the bin can be recycled. The government stands to say that the ban is unnecessary. I thank you.
Judges, government, teammates, audience, good morning. This opposition would like to start by recognizing the definitions given by the government and agreeing with those definitions. However, we would like to restate the moot. The legal prevention and the use of bags made from plastic is vital. 1. Plastic bags pollute the environment. Jamaicans love scandal. Plastic bag, I mean. According to Jamaica Observer, dated February 17, 2019, Jamaica had a history of having one of the highest per capita uses of plastic bags in the world, with average national estimate to use around 500 bags each year. Imagine this. Summer break is coming up. Your first thought is going to the beach with your family. And the day you arrive at the beach, only to see the sign, close due to pollution. Curious as we Jamaicans are, we decided to peep, only to see the water and the shores covered with plastic bags. How will you feel? I'm sure you will be disappointed, not to mention embarrassed. Imagine tourists and even locals swimming beside plastic bags and seeing plastics alongside plastic bags littering our beautiful island. How did this plastic bag get there? People, we, us. We Jamaicans believe in walking with a plastic bag or scandal in case we get something to put in it. My opponent will argue that we can clean up. Do you know how much it costs the Paris country to collect garbage, especially plastic? Millions, billions. That money could be spent on supplies for school, hospitals, police, and fire station. A 2016 Elaine MacArthur Foundation, the new Plastic Economic Report points out that over 8 million tons of plastic finds its way into the ocean over 1 year. This is equivalent to throwing the content of 1 garbage truck into the sea every minute. Dr. Michaels wrote an article in the Gleaner dated January 7, 2019, Why Ban Plastic Bags? And I quote, Jamaica should be applauded for making the move, which demonstrates respect for the environment and an understanding of long-term effects of plastic and pollution, end quote. Using paper bags to substitute can impact the environment as it is made from trees. Not accepted. As it is made from trees, however, it's up to us to replant. For every 3 cut down, we can replant 3 or more. 2. Now this takes us to the effect plastic bags have on animals. Yes, animals. Audience, I went to my stamp shop and bought a pack of crackers and 2 pounds of fish for a mommy. About 5 minutes after, I heard my mama screaming. I inquired. Plastic bag was inside the belly of the fish. Now tell me, was the fish drinking bag juice? Was it thirsty? Remember that we depend on our animals for food. So if they are affected, we run the risk of them being extinct. Imagine, no more steamed fish. 10 tons of whales, birds, sails, and turtles are killed every year from plastic bags as they often mistake plastic bags for food, such as jellyfish. Animals Friends Creation, AFC, added that plastic bags, when ingested, cannot be digested or passed by animals, so it stays in the gut. Once in, it prevents food digestion and can lead to a very slow and painful death. Isn't this a cruel thing for animals to endure? In the same breath, White River Sanctuary placed an advertisement in the Sunday Cleaner on April 14, 2019 entitled, Prepare, Protect, Preserve. It stated that we can all learn how to prepare for the ban on plastic bags and protect our livelihood from it. My opponents, take your heads out of the gutter. It's time to wake up and get on board with the necessary ban on plastic bags. My deputy opposition, second speaker, will speak on the effects of plastic bags on our health and health due to the fact that it's non-biodegradable. The third speaker in this opposition will focus on how the improper disposal of plastic bags can increase the risk of flooding and how it is unsafe for small children. I'll end by saying the ban is necessary. It needs to be done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Wow, what can I say? It's a battlefield indeed. The heat is on. Let us see if we can take the heat that is inside the kitchen this afternoon. Jamaicans, they love scandal, indeed. Sometimes those scandals end up in the belly of the fishes that we eat. Wow, food for thought, huh? All right, now we will be hearing from our second speaker from Glen Stuart, the Deputy Prime Minister. That's Joshua Powell. Give him a clap, please.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a moment of laughter. Ha 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 ha! My opponents, why do you continue to defend your laughable claim? My opponents, changing the rules without punishing or holding the perpetrators accountable will result in the same environmental problems. My opponents, many have argued that plastic bags are causing pollution, but I want to ask you this question. How did it get there? I am sure plastic bags don't just pick themselves up and throw themselves away. We are to be blamed. Thus, the ban on plastic bag is needless. We copy many things from places all around the world. Why not copy the habit of recycling? Might I offer you the solution of educating our population? Might I offer you the solution of building recycling plants to create jobs for our citizens? Can the opposition provide concrete evidence that they put in place measures to combat the fallout of the banning of plastic bags? What have they replaced it with? Let me tell you, paper bags and cotton bags, which is beyond pointless. As reported by the World Wildlife Fund, only 2.4% of the world's cropland is planted with cotton, yet it accounts for 24% of the global market for insecticides and 11% for pesticides. A pound of cotton requires more than 5,000 gallons of water on average, a thirst far greater than many vegetables, and even most meat. Who says paper disappears from the environment? Yes, it melts, but becomes pulp. Pulp will block a drain. Too much of anything is good for nothing. We must take responsibility for how we dispose our waste. Take into account Exhibit A, a paper bag. It did not make it home in one whole piece, much more to be reused. My opponents, if your main concern is climate change, then I'm delighted to enlighten you today. According to a comprehensive research paper published in 2007 by an Australian state government agency, paper bags have a higher carbon footprint than plastic bags. What does this mean? According to the online dictionary, and I quote, the amount of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere as a result of the activities of a particular individual, organization, or community. End of quote. To ensure you fully comprehend this implication of what you are trying to sell us, carbon footprint, according to Professor David Taylor of the University of Oregon, is, and I quote, very broadly, carbon footprint is proportional to mass of an object, end quote. Basically, my dear opposition, because paper bags take up so much more space, more trucks are needed to ship paper bags than plastic bags, which causes more emission of gases in the atmosphere. The drive to favor reusable bags comes from an understandable desire to reduce our chronic overconsumption. But the bags we use are not the big problem. Thus, the banning of plastic bags is pointless and should be retracted. The environmental war needs to be won elsewhere. My opponents, let us deal with the facts right here, right now. Plastic bags are not the only thing, nor is it the #1 cause of plastic pollution. So why are you attacking it? I do not accept at this time. Come on, my opponent. You want to tell us that the banning of plastic bags will stop the death in marine animals? No, my friends. Plastic bags are not the only cause of death of these precious animals. There is proof of lost or abandoned fishing gears, plastic rings, and plastic bottles. This ban does not address this problem. According to Leo Hickman in an article published August 11, 2009 in the Guardian, I quote, plastic bags account for less than 0.5% of domestic refuse, end quote. Well, I leave here now, and I will continue to say that the ban placed on plastic bags is unnecessary. Thank you.
A girl like me nah use no plastic bag. A girl like me nah use no plastic bag. Members of the government, educated judges, respected ladies and gentlemen, good day. My role is to shed some light for you, my opponent, on the negative effects of plastic bags on our health and our environment due to the fact that it's non-biodegradable. I know you're wondering how plastic have anything to do with health. It does, my opponents. Let me enlighten you. Have you asked yourself what plastic bag is made from? Well, it's made from chemicals that originate from petroleum, natural gas, or coal. When these compounds are heated, that chemical goes into the air. Vernon Hughes 2005 reported that once this chemical reaches the air, it causes irritation in eyes, headache, breathing difficulties, diarrhea, vomiting, and even skin cancer. So you see, my opponents, our bodies can be experiencing different aches and pains, yet we think we should drink tea to feel better, when it's plastic bags killing us slowly. Just imagine this world without you in it. Your parents are sad because you weren't or couldn't be conceived. How sad they would be. My opponents, don't just take it from me, but educate yourselves by reading International Journal of Health, article dated the 6th of the 1st, 2018, which states that improper disposal of plastic, such as by burning, contributes to infertility, hormonal changes, declining sperm counts. Additionally, it causes birth defects. You're thinking that we don't have to burn plastics, but my opponents, they do eventually end up in the garbage heaps made by us. Yes, we can reuse plastics, but by reusing, ultimately it gets torn. What do you do with them? Keep it? I think not. Even if the plastic bags aren't burnt, there's still another problem. It is left in open space. It rains, the water settles, it turns into a breeding site for mosquitoes. With mosquitoes comes the myriad of diseases. The common one is known as dengue. The Jamaica Observer dated February 18, 2019 stated, "It has been concluded that Jamaicans are an especially tough-headed people. Due to the fact all over Jamaica, people continue to carelessly toss unwanted items, including plastic, any and everywhere. This leads to accommodating small pools and puddles, ideal for the dreaded Aedes aegypti mosquito." My opponents, are you in that category? The next point is the fact that plastic is non-biodegradable. It will remain in the environment for many years. Microorganisms will not break it down. Audience, indicate by showing a hand who has ever seen a plastic bag on the road. Traveling from here to Santa Cruz, I guarantee that you'll count more than 5. From KSC to Mothers to Juicy, you name it, it's there. A plastic bag can take 400 to 1,000 years to start to break down. As it breaks down, plastic particles contaminate soil and waterways and enter the food web when animals accidentally ingest them. This action can and will affect the natural food chain. Use biodegradable bags, you say? A choice, you think? According to the Scholastic News written by J. Dignan, they are not much better for the environment than regular plastic bags. There are numerous places, cities, countries that have been successfully banned of plastic bags. Places such as China, Kenya, Sri Lanka, South Africa, New Zealand, and Bangladesh, just to name a few. I am sure that these places present with cleaner and more attractive places. 1 year after its ban, San Jose reported a reduction in a bag of litter, approximately 89% in the drains, 60% in the rivers, and 59% in streets and neighborhoods. So you realize, my opponents, the ban on plastic is necessary. It is vital. It needs to be done. Thank you.
The grenades are all over the place. M16s firing. I have to be ducking and taking cover as these two teams present us with very, very strong arguments. A girl like me not carry no scandal bag. But what will I carry? Because the paper bag went bust out before me reach home. Arguments, arguments, arguments. Flying all over the place, and they are very strong. Judges, I am so happy that I'm not sitting in your seats. At this time, you will be hearing from the third speakers. Coming to us, we will have the government member from Glen Stuart, and he is Lejeune Manning. Give him a clap, man.
Good morning, everyone. My opponents, you've heard arguments and arguments, facts and facts from my Prime Minister and Deputy, and yet still you defend this pointless point. Ladies and gentlemen, the banning of plastic bags is unnecessary. It is nothing but a feel-good ploy, a selfish marketing artifice. The banning of plastic bags is just another way for scrupulous entrepreneurs to make money out of people believing that not using plastic bags is helping the world, while earning maximum profits from so-called alternative bags made by cheap labor. In an article written by Isabel Shivlot in The Guardian, published May 12, 2007. To combat plastic bags, Anya Hinmarch launched a bag using the negative press attention that plastic bags were getting. It was later discovered that this businesswoman was in fact taking advantage of cheap labor in China. They were of no use and very poor quality, which leads me to the point, my opponent. Why such a big hurry? Why do you feel the need to drop such a drastic policy so suddenly? The bags that poor people use, reuse for garbage bags, steam cap, wet beach clothes holders, gone in the blink of an eye. The bag that offers so much benefit to the majority of our citizens, extinct, and to what benefit? They use a negative and unjust attention given to plastic bags to conclude the matter before even implementing proper replacements. My opponents, open your eyes. Look at the whole picture. Less food is coming home for you to eat because money that should be contributing to buying food is now used to buy shopping bags, and these bags are not even reliable. How sad it is, my opponents, that our parents have it so hard to buy enough food for us, but because of the drastic ban on plastic bags, they are constantly forgetting these so-called these so-called alternative bags and have to be replacing them. This is a true story. A lady had emergency business in Santa Cruz and decided it would be more economical to shop now than return the following day. On reaching the cashier, she was cutely reminded that she will need to purchase bags based on the number of food in the trolley for her children. These are options she had. 1. Pay her fare twice, not accepted at this time, twice to purchase the same amount of goods in the trolley. 2. Leave some of the goods in order to take the remainder home. My opponents, reflect on these realities. Don't be brainwashed. The ban placed on plastic bags is unnecessary, irrelevant, and completely inconvenient. It is a feel-good ploy, a cunning tactic by the opposition, trying to sway us sensibly, progressive, thinking people with. Look at the bigger picture. Let me paint it for you. You're rich, I'm poor. You're eating big $2,000 food, and I don't have anything to eat. And you give me crumbs. Is that helping my hunger? Ladies and gentlemen, is that helping my hunger? The ban on plastic bags is not helping the problem. My opponents, why can't you see like a real professional? It is irresponsible of you to be brainwashed with foolishness. Shame on you. When we compare the Caribbean with other countries, data show that approximately 96% of solid waste in the Caribbean goes into landfills. My opponents, what percentage of solid waste goes into other countries' landfill? Only 5%. So what do they do with the remainder? 45% is converted into energy, and the other 50% is recycled. I rest my case. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good day. Heraclitus, a Greek philosopher, has been quoted as saying, "The only thing that is constant in life is change." Change is necessary. Teachers have to adjust to National Standards Curriculum, NSC. We have to adjust to Primary Exit Profile, PEP. Therefore, all of us need to adjust to a plastic bag-free Jamaica. Plastic bags increase the risk of flooding. Do you recall the numerous floodings that occurred in Clarendon when residents had to find themselves on the top of their homes? A 6-year-old drowned, even animals trying to escape that ordeal. This occurred in October 2018 and June 2017. What if all those destructions were caused by plastic bags? Think of 3-year-old children playing with plastic bags. If placed in their mouth, they could swallow the plastic bag or suffocate themselves. Not accepted. My opponents, we have educated you on the reasons to ban plastic bags. Plastic bags pollute the environment. 2. It has harmful effects on animals. 3. They affect our health. 4. it's non-biodegradable. 5. It can cause flooding. 6. And it's very dangerous for small children. In 2018, the National Solid Waste Management and Authority and NSWMA published a newsletter stating these and other effects of garbage, especially plastic bags. Don't panic. There are ways of making the ban successful. 1. BYOB. Bring your own cloth bag when shopping. 2. Don't buy drinks from plastic. Glass is great. 3. Choose toilet paper that's not wrapped in plastic. 4. Take care of what you already have.
Point of information.
Not accepted. Honorable Dalvaz, MP, made a comment on the reduction of plastic waste, February 5, 2019. Change is never easy and can be disruptive, but change is necessary if we are to ensure a good quality of life for present and future generations of Jamaica. According to Minister of Local Government and Community Development and NSWMA, the effective management of the country's waste is not responsibility of the government alone, but also the private sector of civil society and the individual. Collectively, we can realize the most needed change. This opposition wants Jamaica to be the place of choice to live, work and raise families, and do business. The plastic bag saga is threatening this vision. All Jamaicans, my team members and I call up on you to get involved. The ban on plastic bags is vital. It needs to be done. We rest our case.
It's a battle to the finish. And only the strongest of the strongest will survive. Who will be the stronger team today?
My opponents thought they gave some good points on why the ban is not necessary. How can you sit there and tell us to use plastic bags when you have heard all the dangers it can contribute to? Reuse, recycle, it is still going to end up on our roads, in our water bodies, and affecting our health. Plastic bags may be cheaper to buy, but in the long run, it will cost us more, such as our health. Say no to plastic. It is unhealthy. Let's save lives. We care about the future. My granny always say, who can hear, I go feel. Government, are you saying you don't care about our health? Your first speaker said plastic bags tear at a specific time. So after it tears and you dispose of it, how do you do so? Don't you burn it or just throw it anywhere you like? These are some negative ways you dispose of plastic. Tell me, are there good ways? I think not. My opponents, you are to disagree that plastic is better than paper, but yet still you show us that paper tears easier than plastic. How does that support you? Judges, audience, don't get sidetracked by my opponents. Instead, use the facts given by us to make the necessary and vital decision regarding the ban on plastic bags. This opposition wants Jamaica to be the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. The plastic bag saga is threatening this vision. Thank you.
We need to stop trying to make plastic bags the villain of the environment. Instead of banning plastic bags and claiming to be environmentalists, we need to target the larger issues. Recycling is a booming and exciting industry that offers benefits to a country both financially and environmentally. The underlying matter is that no bag is free from environmental impact, whether it is contributing to climate change, ocean pollution, water scarcity, or pesticide use. We have all noticed recently that the heat of the day are unbearably high. According to experts, this is due to the heat waves resulting from the emission of greenhouse gases. Does plastic carrier bags contribute to this? No. This This is as a result of the making and increased transport of paper bags. Think and come again, my opponents. Think and come again. As the first speaker on the opposing team has said about the beach, I would love to ask if there was no plastic bottles in sight. Also, the second speaker spoke about plastic bags. Miss Opposition, did you not know that paper bag takes up to 1 to 500 years to break down, but a plastic bag takes only 1 to 20 years to break down? You say adjust to paper bags. How can we adjust to paper bags if no trees are there for us to survive? I thank you once again.
If it is one thing that I'm sure about, is that we as Jamaicans, we liquor, but with talawa. Yes, sir, we liquor, but with talawa. I am very hopeful, sitting there and listening to the presentations from these two teams. My future indeed looks bright. I just want to say to you, continue on this trend. Do not give up. Keep going, because you are indeed making an impact. Now, it is down to the wire. We will know who is the winner of the battle, who survived the shots that were fired. Judges, all I can say again is I am very happy I am not in your seats.
All right, good afternoon again, everyone. Let me use this opportunity to invite from the audience another wild round of applause for both teams, please. I stand here now in the unenviable position of having to choose between two very, very excellent teams. But we have to have a winner, and we have to have somebody who takes the second place for today. But before we go into who won and who didn't win, let me go through a few points that were raised by both teams. So we had government coming out, starting off the debate, saying that the reusable nature of plastic bags is something that makes it something that should be used. I think the Prime Minister did a very good job. She's a strong speaker, she has a very commanding voice, and she builds on the case for the reusable nature of plastic bags and seriously weighs paper as against plastic and shows clearly why plastic is the better option. However, for me, I thought she kind of left the door open a bit for the opposition to walk through, and coming right up, the opposition leader came and deals with the case of the garbage that is being left by plastic. He builds a case on the prevalence and the cost to clean the rubbish and plastic and blames mankind as the reason for plastic being left and rubbish being left littered about the place. He made a very solid point about fish drinking bag juice, which I found to be very, very funny, and it was a very, very solid point. Continuing along, then came the Deputy Prime Minister, who I must say was an excellent, excellent speaker. Well done, sir. He comes and he opens very well, very strong, and he restates the government's case that man is to be blamed. States that education and recycling are needed for the people to get us to understand that we cannot be throwing our rubbish all over the place. He makes a very strong case that paper does not go away, but it becomes pulp. I didn't know that. Well, I knew that, but the point that he made that really had me going was that paper's carbon footprint is much larger than that of plastic. I was floored when I heard that. Well done, sir. Research shows. Then comes the Deputy Opposition Leader, who is an excellent speaker in her own right. Well done, madam. Makes a strong case and a counter-argument to the government for the case of paper. She states that plastic's composition makes it harmful when disposed, and burning it can cause serious health issues. She says that plastic takes long to break down and is seen on the road often. Here, though, I think we had a little bit of a problem. There was not enough engagement between the two teams. Points of information are being asked, and for the entire match, only one POI is accepted. In future, ladies and gentlemen, your match may be decided on who takes and who doesn't take points of information, so you have to cover that. Points of information show that you are comfortable with the speech, you know what you're talking about, and when you can say to the opposition, accept it, and you listen to the point, and then you deal with the point effectively, or you turn to government and say, accept it. Government speaks, and you say, but my opponent, my speech will deal with that, or weren't you listening? And you go deeper into your substantive. So we need to see a little bit more of that. Then comes the government members. From government, we have the speech coming where he's saying that shopping bags are being spent on rather than food. So he makes a case for the economics of the family. You go into the supermarket having a set amount of money, and then you're hearing when you get to the cash register, oh, you need to purchase a bag for X amount of money when you only had enough money to pay for your food. What do? Carry the food home in your arms? Or do you sacrifice something your children will need to eat to purchase a bag? Then comes the opposition member, makes the case for change, saying that we need to be given solid alternatives, and he does a good job of sewing up the case for the opposition, and says the case for cleaning is not only the government's responsibility, but it is the responsibility of all of us. So we as the judging panel at this point, we are in a conundrum because we are saying, all right then, who win? So here comes the people now in their opposition rebuttals. Opposition comes up and says that the government's reuse policy is foolishness, because if you are going to reuse plastic, then what happens next? However, we thought, and for me, not enough was done in the rebuttal to solidly push back against government, and then the government comes on and says that no ban is free from environmental effect, and they do a better job of attacking the opposition's case. At the end of the day, it was a split decision of the judges, which means it wasn't unanimous. One judge had it for government, one judge had it for opposition, and then as chief judge, I had to be the bad guy and step in and decide who won, because it was very, very close, and at the end of the day, it came down to one single point. So, with 252, the winners, and with 251, the second place team, we are here to tell you this afternoon. I can come down now, right? No, I won't do that to you. Our winners this afternoon, Glen Stuart Primary. Let me emphasize the point again, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, let me emphasize the point again. It was very, very, very close. However, our commendable speaker this afternoon is the second speaker from Glen Stuart, and I think his name is Joshua Howell. Well done, sir. But today's best speaker comes from Balaclava Primary, and that person is in the form of Rihanna Johnson. Please give her a round of applause. Well done, madam. Excellent. And I must say, ladies and gentlemen, that I feel good as a debate coach. These students will soon be leaving the primary walls and coming to my domain. So I'm making a case now for parents. Ladies and gentlemen, please send your children to Magotay High School. The debating society needs them. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. I will now invite both teams to cross the floor and shake hands.
Just step aside, Balaclava. Right there.
The lady in the middle. Center the